Friends, I am Dr. Surjit Ghosh. Welcome to my channel, Dr. Ghosh Presents. Tissue salt therapy, part 8, Calc.flour 2. If you are new to tissue salt therapy, TST, viewing part 1 to 6 is a must. Please remember this. 2 dots means continuation from previous Calc.flour 1. Old lumbago. Lumbago is waist rheumatism of the waist. Downward along spine, pain and soreness in sacrum. You must know our spine bone. This is the spine bone. Picture of spine bone here. Starting from cervical vertebra, then thoracic vertebra, then lumbar, then comes sacral vertebra. And at the last of thing, this is coccyx, which is called tailbone. We are continuing with sacrum. Application of heat, constant motion, ameliorate pain, but fast motion and cold aggravate. These are the lumbago symptoms by which you can detect that this person requires Calc.flour. Corns in sole, skin, hard, swollen, somewhat painful. Skin looks cracked. Some picture of skin has been given here. Corn of the skin. Number 14. In old, cold, profuse solid masses of greenish, yellowish expectoration. Ozaena. Ozaena, mind it, Ozaena is a very devastating disease. Ozaena is what it does, it completely destroys the nose. Complete nose structure is destroyed in the Ozaena, and the patient suffers from very painful and also disgusting disease, because from this Ozaena very much intense foul odor comes out, and this person generally, it was now Ozaena is very, number of Ozaena patients is very less. One time there was too much of Ozaena patients. Actually this is some deep syphilitic disease, and for them there are separate hospitals instituted somewhere in desolate area so that ordinary person cannot go there, and this Ozaena patient used to live there for this particular thing. So intense was this bad odor of this disease, and also painful. Now Calc.flour can take up this most difficult disease of humanity, Ozaena. You can read about Ozaena in internet. You can understand what bad type of disease is this. 15. Dry hoarseness after long reading in loud voice or loud laughter. Generally, and this is seen in the public speaker or clergyman in the church. This is seen. They suffer from this type of disease. 16. Dry nagging cough from irritation of throat due to elongated uvula. Mind it, elongated uvula is uvula that is longer than normal. Uvula is actually hanging at the just above tongue, the back portion of our throat, and that is, if elongated, that will make tickling sensation in the throat, and for that reason dry nagging cough comes. Here Calc.flour is the medicine. Number 17. Inveterate constipation along with ascites. Ascites means actually accumulation of water in the abdominal cavity. This is the picture of ascites. Abdomen hard abdomen, bluish vein. See this bluish vein is visible completely, distinctly visible beneath skin. Enlarged rigid spleen. This is rigid spleen. Rigid spleen and liver. This is rigid liver. Rigid liver actually cirrhosis. Cirrhosis of liver. In cirrhosis of liver becomes rigid, and its next step is cancer of liver. Spleen is something which we do not know much about this spleen, because it is not generally discussed. But spleen, it is in our left, as right side liver, right side of abdomen is liver. So left side of the upper abdomen is the place of where spleen resides. It controls a lot of blood and lymphatic lymphatic, what should I call this? Is a lot of lymph actually is generated from this area, this spleen, and spleen reserves a big amount of blood, and it releases that blood in the time of necessity. When some urgent requires or blood arises in the body, spleen then release that particular that collected blood, and all disease of kala-jor, fever, or severe malaria, these used to affect this spleen. This is used to affect this spleen. In both the cases are completely curable with the help of this particular medicine. Actually, Calcarea floricum is a wonder medicine of the 12th salt. Is a tremendously wonder medicine. Calcarea falls, fluor, and another is silesia. These two are really can do many a miracle if you apply it correctly. If you can apply it correctly. A chief remedy for hernia. If the hernia means protrusion of some abdominal content in the space between abdominal skin and internal layer of the abdomen. It's just note this figure, you can understand what is called hernia. This is nothing but content of abdomen, mainly maybe part of intestine. That is hernia. It was proved repeatedly that Calcarea flour contracts the part of loose intestine and helps regain its elasticity to cure hernia without operative surgery. Actually, the reasons of this hernia is that the first portion is that the abdominal muscles get relaxed, and second causation is that the content of the intestine is also has loosened. I mean, has become loose, and it has lost its elasticity. So it has come out of some abdominal foramina, that is some gaps in the abdominal internal layer, and out of that foramina this abdominal content comes out in the gap between the skin and this internal layer of abdomen. This is called hernia. This is actually surgery. This is a disease of surgery, for surgery, but Calcarea flour can do the thing without surgery. It contracts the loose intestine. It helps regain elasticity of the muscles of abdomen as well as elasticity of the intestine or the part of the intestine, that is herniated portions. Such a good, very good and rare medicine is it. At the onset of disease, when there are pain, heat, swelling of the affected part, Calcarea flour should be used alternately with ferrum phos. That is, when the disease starts, then there are pain, heat, swelling. In that phase, you have to give in Calcarea flour along with ferrum phos. Or if it is some old case, it has become an old case, then Calcarea flour will be required, not ferrum phos, because there is no current inflammatory signs, pain, heat, swelling. If there is no pain and swelling, then you cannot give this ferrum phos. Only Calcarea flour will be remedy then. 19. Syphilis, chief remedy of hard chancre. In old syphilis, when bones of the body starts affecting, use 200x. May give you miracle cure. This has been said by old pioneers of TST. Tissue salt therapy, pioneers of tissue salt therapy, they have said this thing, that you use 200x in case of syphilis, hard chancres, old syphilis. Some heart chancre, images of heart chancre it is on the opening of the bare portion of penis, and this is on the tongue. This chancre may appear in various places. These are just ulcer, this is hardened ulcer with raised edges, and it comes generally on mucous membrane. There is not much pain, but this is a very characteristic thing of syphilis. First, phase of syphilis, this chancre is noticed. 20. Hodgkin disease. Hodgkin disease is actually a type of cancer. Two types are there. Number one, Hodgkin lymphoma. Lymphoma, you know, lymphoma means cancer of lymph glands, and non-Hodgkin lymphoma, NHL, HL, NHL. Both are cancer of lymphocyte cells. Lymphocytes are part of our immune system. The lymphatic system has been, the lymphatic system, contents of the lymphatic system has been there, given here. Lymphatic system, contents of lymph, there is some sort of fluid like blood, lymphatic vessels like blood vessels. Through these lymphatic vessels, lymph circulates in our body. Lymphatic tissue, lymph nodes, tonsils, spleen, thymus. With all these, the lymphatic system is made up of. Lymphocytes are part of our immune system. Depending on the number of cells affected and their location, they are grouped in NHL or HL. Between the two, NHL, that is non-Hodgkin lymphoma, is worse. It is more bad compared to HL. If this swell up to solid hard, if this swell into a solid hard mass or into a soft lax mass, both, it may be hard mass, it may be soft mass. Calcarea 12x or 30x are employed to tackle initially. The one of the image of Hodgkin disease has been shown here. Mind this Hodgkin disease is also a rare type of disease. I would request my readers to go through this Calcarea phos many times, because Calcarea phos can do many miracles. I would read you all to read this particular Calcarea flour in literatures of all writers, all good writers. Please read it. If you read many literature, you will get a total picture of Calcarea flour. Mind it, one person cannot give a total picture. Whatever good may be his deliberations, it is not always complete. You can get a complete picture only going through at least 3 different literatures of pioneers. Say I have given this some Carey's book of Carey. Someone can give book of some other good writers. Please do this. Life case. Mr. N.C. Paul, aged 50 years, used to work as deck manager in a foreign cargo ship and generally spends 10 months of an year in ocean and foreign seaports. Has come to his village home during summer vacation. Has been very much anxious about a big bubo in his left groin over last few months. Bubo means enlarged swollen gland, especially lymph gland. A lot of lymph glands are there in our groins, in our armpits, within the abdomen, in the neck, but here his left groin is affected. No severe pain is there, but the bubo has been growing larger with time. He can clearly recollect that this problem got into him from Enjoy port of Rio. Enjoy is a recreational house in the port of for crewmen. He has learned a lot about this disease from his old culprit of the ship. Old culprit means the person who are already suffering from syphilis. A lot of crewmen used to suffer from this disease because they, for enjoyment, they go various places, and these professional women are just a good source of spreading this syphilis. So without wasting any time, he meets Dr. Nag. Experienced veteran Dr. Nag realized very fast what happens to Mr. Paul. He prescribed Calcarea 200x, directly 200x in 3 dose on every first and fourth day of the week for 3 weeks, and advised to stop drinking liquor completely, because in such cases, in such advanced case of syphilis, liquor, I mean hard drinks, are impediments to the cure, to the way of cure. That is, they doesn't allow the medicine to act nicely. So he advised to stop drinking liquor also. About a month and a half after, Dr. Nag received an international call from Cairo, Egypt, where Mr. Paul informed him. When Mr. Paul informed him that he got absolutely cured at the end of 5th week, but due to severe precaution, he failed to contact him. With this, the video ends. A lot of thanks for listening and viewing. Again, we will be meeting on some new video.